In the middle of one of the deadliest wars in human history, something unbelievable happened. Soldiers who had been trying to kill each other for months put down their weapons, crossed enemy lines, and celebrated Christmas together. No generals ordered it. No politicians planned it. For one night, World War I stopped. This is the true story of the Christmas Truce of 1914. In December of 1914, World War I was still young, but already unimaginably brutal. What had begun as a fast-moving war of ambition and alliances had ground to a halt along the Western Front. From the North Sea down through Belgium and France, two massive armies stared at each other from muddy trenches carved into the earth. Trenches were miserable. Rain turned the ground into thick mud that swallowed boots and equipment. Rats fed on scraps and bodies. Lice spread constantly. Soldiers lived surrounded by filth, fear, and exhaustion, often only yards away from the enemy. Despite this, many soldiers still believed the war would end soon. They had been told they would be home by Christmas. That promise became something to cling to as the winter cold set in. Christmas approached quietly at first. By December 24th, something unusual began to happen along parts of the front. German soldiers started decorating their trenches with small Christmas trees. Candles were placed carefully on branches. The soft glow stood out against the darkness of no man's land. Then, singing began. German troops started singing familiar Christmas carols, including Silent Night. The sound carried across the frozen battlefield and into the Allied trenches. British and French soldiers listened, unsure what they were hearing at first. Then, something unexpected happened. The Allies responded. British troops sang back with their own carols. Cheers followed. Shouts of "Merry Christmas" echoed across no man's land in different languages. For the first time in months, the sounds of gunfire were replaced by music and laughter. Slowly, cautiously, soldiers began to rise from their trenches. At first, no one was sure if it was a trick. Stepping into no man's land was usually a death sentence. But on this night, no shots were fired. A few brave men walked forward, hands raised, unarmed. Others followed. By Christmas morning, thousands of soldiers had left their positions. Enemies met face to face in the middle of the battlefield. They shook hands. They exchanged greetings. Some even shared cigarettes, food, and small gifts. Photographs were taken. Addresses were exchanged. Stories were told. For a brief moment, the war felt distant. One of the most famous stories from the truce is the football match. According to multiple accounts, soldiers kicked around a ball in no man's land. There were no official rules, no referees, and no clear score. It was simply a game, something normal in an abnormal place. Even if the details have been exaggerated over time, what mattered was the meaning. These men, who had been ordered to kill one another, were choosing not to. Another important part of the truce involved the dead. For weeks, bodies had lain frozen between the trenches, unreachable due to constant fire. During the truce, soldiers worked together to recover and bury the fallen. Joint burial services were held, with prayers spoken in multiple languages. For many soldiers, this was the first real chance to grieve. But the truce was not universal. In some areas, fighting never stopped. Certain units refused to participate. Some officers actively tried to prevent it. While thousands experienced the truce, millions did not. High command on both sides was alarmed. To generals and politicians, the truce was dangerous. It showed that soldiers could see each other as human beings. It threatened discipline. It undermined the idea that the enemy was a monster. Orders were quickly issued. No more fraternization. No more ceasefires. No more contact with the enemy. In some sectors, artillery fire was deliberately ordered on Christmas Day to prevent any possibility of peace. By December 26th, the truce was over. Weapons were raised again. Soldiers returned to their trenches. The war resumed as if nothing had happened, but for those who experienced it, everything had changed. Many soldiers wrote letters home describing the truce. They struggled to explain how strange it felt to return to killing men they had just laughed with. Some admitted it became harder to fire their rifles afterward. The Christmas Truce of 1914 would never happen on the same scale again. As the war dragged on, it became more brutal. New weapons were introduced. Casualties increased. Hatred was encouraged through propaganda. High command made sure soldiers were rotated and separated to prevent familiarity. The war hardened. By 1916, battles like Verdun and the Somme would kill millions. The innocence of 1914 was gone. Yet, the Christmas Truce remains one of the most powerful moments in the history of World War I. Not because it ended the war, it didn't. But because it showed something deeply human. Even in the worst conditions imaginable, ordinary people chose compassion over violence, if only for a moment. The truce reminds us that wars are fought by people, not nations. That behind every uniform is someone who once hoped to be home by Christmas. And for one cold night in 1914, that hope brought enemies together. If you found this moment of history interesting, make sure to like and subscribe for more World War I documentaries. And let me know in the comments, would you like a deeper video on trench life, the battles that followed, or why the truce never happened again?